Namaste. My name is Manisha Singh, Assistant Professor in Department of Food and Biotechnology in Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences under in Jyoti Vidyapith Women's University, Jaipur. I am teaching you subject Fruits and Vegetable Processing Technology in class BSc FND 4th semester and BTech MTech FBT 4th semester. In our previous session, we were discussed about the canning of fruits and vegetable. In today's class, we will discuss about the spoilage in the canned foods. So, canned foods are liable to spoilage in storage for various reasons. Fruit products often lose their normal and attractive appearance and become unsaleable, although they remain quite fit for human consumption. Okay, the two important kinds of spoilage are spoilage by the microorganisms and the spoilage owing to the physical or chemical changes. So, the spoilage by the microorganisms is more important because the appearance and smell of a spoiled can of food is different from that of a good one. Okay, so spoiled cans of food should never be tasted as a precautionary measure, especially when spoilage is suspected to be owing to the microorganisms. Then there are various indications of spoilage which are shown in the can. First of all, the can is swell. So in a swelled can, the ends are tightly bulged. So the can is like that. So the ends are tightly bulged. The bulge is due to the formation of carbon dioxide or any other gases inside the can. Okay. As a result of the decomposition of the contents caused by the microorganisms. If the bulge ends are pressed hard, and they may go to the invert, but the pressure, when the pressure is released, they will back to the original position and would remain as a convex shape. Okay, the shape is like convex. That is a puffy shape is there. The discomposed food in the can has an offensive and sour odor and is generally discolored, and it is not fit for the human consumption and may even contain toxins produced by the bacilli like Clostridium botulinum. Okay. The other type of indication of spoilage is hydrogen swell. How in hydrogen swell, hydrogen formed by the action of acids present in the fruit or vegetable on the tin plate that causes the can to bulge at the ends. In such cases, the food remains generally free from harmful microorganisms and is still fit for the human consumption. Okay. Next is the springer. Springer is a mild swell at one or both of the ends is known as springer. It is maybe in an initial stage of hydrogen swell or maybe caused by insufficient exhausting or by the overfilling of the can. The bulge ends can be formed back to the original position, but will again become convex after some time. And food in such can remains generally fit for the human consumption because there is no change in the composition of the food product packaged in the can. Okay, then next spoilage is the flipper. It is basically the indications shown on the cans. Next is the flipper. And what is flipper? A can with a mild positive pressure is known as flipper. And it may be an initial stage of swell or hydrogen swell, but more frequently it is owing to overfilling or under exhausting. Next type of spoilage is flat sour. And this type of spoilage is caused mostly in non-acid foods like vegetables by microorganisms without production of gas. It is therefore difficult to detect it from external appearance of the can, and it may be caused almost entirely by under sterilization. In that case, thermophilic bacteria would be special significance, and the product has a sour odor and its acidity will be much higher than that of the normal food product. and it is not fit for the human consumption. So if there, if in any can there is a symptoms of showing flipper, so that food is not suitable or fit for the human consumption. Next is the leaker. As the word leaker, that means that there is a leak in the can. So a very small leak may appear in the can owing to the faulty seam or the faulty lock seam, or you can say pinholes as a result of corrosion from the inside of the can or rusting of the can from the outside. Next type of spoilage is breather. In the breather, there may be a very thin leak in the can through which air may pass it in, but not the microorganism. Consequently, air passes back and forth into the can. In this case, the vacuum in the can is always nil and the pressure inside the can is equal to that of the atmosphere. The food remains fit for the consumption, and the damage to food in such cases is usually owing to rusting of the can and caused by the oxygen in the air passing in through the tiny leak. Okay, next is the bursting of can. Cans may sometime burst, and this may be due to the process due to the excess of pressure caused by the gases inside the can, produced by the decomposition of food by microorganisms or by the gas formed by the chemical action of acids of the food on the tin plate. And in such cases, the canned products becomes a total loss. Sometimes there is a discoloration of fruit products in the can. Discoloration of canned foods may be owing to biological causes or metallic contamination, or owing to the both. It may be biological, it may be metallic contamination. Number one is biological causes. Cut and peeled apples and pears, when kept in air, they turn into the brown due to the enzymatic browning, or you can say oxidation. And this color change, is induced by the co-oxidase enzyme. Oxidases enzymes present in the fruit and can be avoided by placing the cut fruits and vegetables in the 2 to 3% of the salt solution, and then uh, used for the canning. Plums, green edges, and sometimes turn slightly brown near to the top of the filled can during the exhausting, and this can be preventing by regulating the exhaust process. Okay. Then discoloration of fruit products may be caused by the reactions other than the enzymatic reaction, in which it may generally known as non-enzymatic browning. Uh, any of these reactions may go independently, and the color changes may be caused by the reactions between the nitrogenous sugar and the nitrogenous matter and the sugars, nitrogenous matter and the organic acids, sugar and organic acids, and you can say organic acids among themselves. And these reactions generally known as Maillard reactions and are of great importance to the food preservation. I hope it is clear to all the biological causes of discoloration of the fruits and vegetable. Next one is the metallic contamination. And this type of discoloration is generally used by iron and copper salts. The following are important among these. Number one is ferric tannate. Some fruits and vegetables containing the tannins in them. Sometimes tannins may get into the product through the spices used for seasoning, and these tannins are coming into the contact with the exposed iron of the tin plate with ferric tannate, which is black, and spoils the appearance of the canned food products. Next type of metallic contamination is done by the iron sulfide. Sulfur dioxide may get into the can through the sugar, which is made by the sulfitation instead of the carbonation process. It may also be formed inside the can itself owing to the decomposition of the proteins in the food product. The gas may react with the hydrogen formed by the fruit acid acting on the tin plate and get reduced to hydrogen sulfide, which in turn will react with the iron of the can and form the black iron sulfide. This will spoil the appearance of the product, and the obnoxious smell of the hydrogen peroxide or hydrogen sulfide will also persist to the some extent. Next is copper sulfide. When the plate is shut down for some time, even for a few days, a thin film of copper oxide will be formed on the surface of the equipment made up of copper or brass. Although the equipment may be cleaned thoroughly before used again, some traces of copper oxide or copper salts may still remain sticking to the surface of the metal. When the plant is started again, the first lot of the product will react with the copper compounds and dissolves the copper. The product coming into the contact with the hydrogen sulfide, which is formed inside the can due to several causes, and will form black color copper sulfide, and which will discolor the food product, mainly the fruits and vegetables color. Next is the hydrogen. Fruit acids reacting on the metal of the can produce, produce hydrogen. Even when the can is lacquered, the acids may react with the base plate, okay, exposed with the can is lacquered. Okay, so these acids may react with the base plate exposed with through the small scratches in the lacquering coating. The hydrogen thus formed and will react with the red and purple pigments of the fruit like strawberries, longanberries, red plums, and bleach them. The best remedy for this is to ensure that lacquering is continuous and uniform and is not broken during the fabrication of the can. And this will be possible only when cans are lacquered after they are made. And in case of the cans made from lacquered tin plate, defects like scratches generally develop during the fabrication process employing high speed of machines. Okay, next is coloring matter in fruits and vegetables, that which in which the coloring matters of fruits and vegetables are has considerable influence on the discoloration of the canned product. And there are two kinds of coloring matter, one which is soluble in the cell sap and the other one which is insoluble in the cell sap. The soluble coloring matters are also known as anthocyanins and belong to the polyphenols group, and they include the blues, purples, violets, mauves, magentas, and nearly all red colors. And they are found mostly in the epidermal layer or the tissue of the fruit, but sometimes present in the flesh also. Flavons are also formed in the plant. Both the groups of coloring matter generally generate oxygen, which corrodes in the presence of organic acids, which are universally present in the fruits. Okay, so nascent hydrogen bleaches the color of anthocyanins, but the colors reappear to sufficient exposure to the air. And sulfur dioxide also bleaches these colors, but they reappears when the sulfur dioxide is removed or when a stronger acid is added. So anthocyanins undergo certain changes in association with the metals, and they are precipitated by the lead acetate. They are insoluble in ether and chloroforms. Raspberries, cherries, red, purple, and blue plums, and strawberries contain the anthocyanin pigments. In the case of apples and peaches, however, anthocyanins are only present in the skin only and do not therefore get into the canned product, since the skin is peeled off before canning these fruits. The insoluble colors are bound up in the proportion of protoplasm known as chloroplast and chromoplast, and include the substances like chlorophylls. The scarlet, orange, red, brown, and even black colors may be owing to a mixture of soluble and insoluble colors. Okay, among these, the yellow color, among these, the yellow color does not suffer any change in the presence of the metals or when the product is heated. Chlorophyll in the presence of acid and oxygen, however, turns brown on heating, and it reacts with the zinc and the copper, forming a deep color which is not affected by the Heat. Copper salts were once utilized to mix the green color in the canned beans and the yellow color in fruits like peaches, mango, pineapple is owing to the carotenoid pigment, mostly beta carotene, which is the precursor of vitamin A. The red color of the tomatoes, which is in the insoluble portion of the fruit, is owing to the lycopene, which is a carotenoid pigment. Effect of heat processing of these carotenoid pigments have been subject of numerous investigation in India in recent years. Okay. Next is the discoloration in canned food products. Then typical examples of discoloration in the canned food products are: number one is black deposit in the canned pumpkin. That is due to the amino compounds present in the pumpkin react with the iron of the can and forming a black deposits in the canned food product. Next is discoloration of the canned corn. Canned corn sometimes turns into the gray in color. This is owing to the formation of sulfides of iron and copper is as a result of corrosion of the tin plate and tarnishing of the metals, okay, of the equipment respectively. To prevent it, only sea enamel or corn enamel cans should be used. Zinc oxide forms one of the compound constituents of the enamel with which these cans are to be coated. Then there is a black deposits in the canned fruits. In this case, the fruits canned in the syrup prepared for sugar, which sometimes contain the sulfur dioxide. There is often serious blackening of the tin plate due to the formation of iron sulfide. Then there may be a spoilage in the corrosion and perforation of the tin plate, and that corrosion is due to the oxygen as well. Okay, then inaccurate exhausting, etc. Then there is a microbial spoilage as well in the canned food product. Okay, so in the exam point of view, the question may be asked: explain the spoilage of canning, spoilage shown in the canned food products, or and spoilage shown in the cans, etc. And there in entrance exam, some questions asked maybe like that, like which one of the following is the spoilage of can. Okay, so you pick one of them, and depending upon the type of the question asked with you from you. Thank you so much for watching this video.